Tonight on Nova, a brutal killing in the Amazon rainforest. The victims were mutilated, their skulls turned into bizarre musical instruments. Their internal organs were removed and eaten. The clues lead to the discovery of an unknown tribe who call themselves the Jaguar people. Long thought to be extinct, they are now drawn into a dramatic clash with the outside world. Nova travels deep into the rainforest to meet the tribe that time forgot.
Funding for NOVA is provided by
Merck, dedicated to pharmaceutical research, committed to discovery, improving health, extending life. Merck.
And Lockheed, America's aerospace company, supporting math, science, and engineering education for national technology leadership. Major funding for NOVA is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by annual financial support from viewers like you.
Deep in the remote Amazon rainforest of Brazil live the Arara. An elusive tribe, they avoided contact with the outside world for centuries. By 1950, these nomadic people were officially listed as extinct. But in 1976, the tribe suddenly leapt into the headlines. It was reported that unknown Indians had killed 3 government mineral prospectors. 2 of the prospectors' heads were found on poles. The eyes were glazed with beeswax, and a 2-foot bamboo flute was inserted through each skull, transforming it into a musical instrument. Parts of the prospectors' bodies had been eaten. FUNAI, Brazil's Indian agency, was assigned the task of finding the hostile Indians. But a hail of arrows fired from the forest shadows wounded 6 members of the FUNAI team before they could reach the tribe. Recently, a camera crew and a Brazilian anthropologist traveled deep into the Amazon basin, down the Xingu and Arara rivers, to locate the tribe and discover the truth behind the headlines. Departing from the small town of Altamira on the Xingu, the crew would travel 2 days before reaching the heart of the rainforest. The human impact on this fragile environment is all too visible. The banks of the river have been stripped of trees. Prospectors openly contaminate the river with mercury while dredging for gold. When the camera crew reaches the Arara, the river looks peaceful enough. But upstream, it will live up to its reputation as one of Brazil's most hazardous. The rapids of the Cachoeira Seca present a serious obstacle to any who would come this way. Gold prospectors recently dynamited the rapids in an attempt to move dredges upstream. They failed. The camera crew is forced to change to smaller boats. Waist deep in the raging torrent, they haul their craft through a wall of white water by hand. Finally, huts come into view on the hillside. The crew catches its first glimpse of the Arara village. Even though the team includes FUNAI guides and an anthropologist able to speak the tribe's Carib language, no one knows for certain how he will be received. With relief, the camera crew finds the Arara very different from their fearsome reputation. During the next 2 months, the tribe will share its daily life and most cherished customs with the crew, and with anthropologist Marnio Teixeira Pinto.
The big cultural value of this society is the generosity, is the harmony, is to give everything for everyone all the time. So they never understand their relation with the world as a relation like I have to capture everything and I have not to give anything in exchange.
The river is a source of both water and food for the village. Each evening, the tribe is drawn to the river for their daily custom of talking and washing together. The children mimic their father's hunting skills, using miniature bows and arrows, or perhaps a makeshift fishing spear. The tribe is organized around extended families, which do everything together. Each family washes in a different part of the river. Everyone takes part, even the pet monkeys. Women wash the pots and clothes, while Piput, the family patriarch, looks on. Piput is one of the tribe's elders. His pet monkeys are constant companions. Like most of the tribe's adult males, Piput wears a bit of wood through his pierced septum as an ornament. Children make up more than half of the tribe's number. Even though there are crocodiles, electric eels, and giant anaconda snakes in these waters, the Arara seem completely at ease here. They appear equally oblivious to the piranha fish that swarm near shore. Though potentially dangerous, the well-fed piranha rarely attack. They are even considered a tasty delicacy by the tribe. Waga tries to catch some for dinner. As the light fades, and with the washing over, families head back uphill to the village to prepare the evening meal. In addition to fish, the tribe grows vegetables in nearby gardens and hunts a wide variety of game in the forest. Each family's complex of huts includes a pet house containing an array of animals. Monkeys are known to carry the deadly yellow fever virus, but the Arara believe they are descended from monkeys, and they keep many as pets. The pets are part of the tribe's belief that they must share with all around them, even the animals of the forest. When they hunt, it may be necessary to kill some animals, but it is important to keep others as pets, and that way the forest spirits are appeased. No one knows for exactly how long the Arara's ancestors have inhabited these forests. But we do know that at the end of the Ice Age, a land bridge between Siberia and Alaska allowed the ancestors of all Native Americans to cross from Asia to North and South America. As they settled, they adapted to each environment. By 10,000 years ago, their descendants had arrived in the Amazon basin. In 1500, Pedro Cabral landed with a Portuguese army of 12 ships and 12,000 men, one of the first Europeans to arrive in South America. On his first meeting with the Indians, Cabral said, "Truly, these people are good and of pure simplicity. Any belief we wish to give them may easily be stamped upon them." The Indians welcomed the newly arrived Europeans with gifts of food. The Portuguese called this new territory Terra de Vera Cruz, or Land of the True Cross. It was later renamed Brazil. European diseases would soon wipe out hundreds of thousands of Indians. The survivors were forced to work on the sugar plantations, which shortly became Brazil's largest industry. By the mid-1800s, the growing demand for rubber from the rainforest for carriage and wagon tires enslaved even more Indians. Throughout the centuries, many of the Arara escaped that fate by avoiding all contact with outsiders. The explorer Henri Coudreau wrote, "The Arara are, in the Amazon region, the most mysterious and nomadic Indian nation par excellence." Other early European visitors to the Amazon discovered most Indian tribes to be involved in widespread warfare and ritual cannibalism. European revulsion at these practices was expressed in this woodcut, published in 1505, just 5 years after Cabral landed. The behavior of the Indians toward each other justified in the conquerors' minds their own brutal treatment of the native tribes. In 1549, a German held captive by Indians witnessed ritual cannibalism. His accounts inspired these fanciful engravings, which created a sensation in Europe. The Indians cut off the heads, arms, and legs of their enemies, then ate their internal organs. 400 years later, the Arara treated the prospectors in much the same way, in a ritual based on the belief that different spirits reside in specific zones of the body. Cutting off the enemy's hands and feet kills hostile energy. Eating the enemy's internal organs absorbs his potency. And decapitation stops the enemy from going to heaven. In 1976, the prospectors' skulls were transformed into flutes. But other war trophies have been found, including in 1915, the skin of a face stretched into a hoop, a necklace of 3 sets of human teeth, and an enemy's scalp. In 1926, the Arara's traditional enemy, the Kayapo, massacred many of the tribe. Only 6 were thought to have survived. But the arrows which struck the Funai officials in 1979 were identified as Arara, proving the tribe was still very much alive. Funai, the Indian agency, was established to protect Brazil's Indians from the often hostile outside world. The agency sent Sidney Pozuelo to contact the Arara.
I handpicked people for their commitment to the Indians. People who could go unarmed and endure Indian attacks without wanting to retaliate. This is our founder, Cândido Rondon's slogan. Die if you must, but never kill. During the Arara contact, Funai personnel were wounded by arrows, yet understood the Indians had been suffering aggressions from the white men and were only defending themselves from more invaders.
Brazilian newspapers focused on the Arara's violent resistance to contact with outsiders. But that was not the whole story. The press failed to report that in 1961, a local mayor ordered police to shoot all Indians on sight. And as recently as 1970, 12 Arara were murdered by settlers. Portrayed as hostile savages, the Arara presented a much different face to the visiting camera crew. Toichi is regarded as a great warrior.
What did you think of the white man in the past?
We had to be careful.
Why did you have to be careful of them?
Because we didn't want to be hurt by them, as we fear the white men as much as the bad spirits in the forest.
Were the white men bad to you?
Yes, they were very, very bad, and they were all around us, constantly harassing us.
Did the white men use guns?
Oh yes, bang, 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 from all around us. The white men were shooting, so we had to flee. Finally, we saw traces of the whites and went into the forest. The whites followed us. We wanted to know why they kept following us. We fled further away. Then our land became an island, and we were surrounded. Then I said to our people, the whites are coming after us to kill us, so let's go and kill them. We don't want to keep running.
In the 1970s, the Trans-Amazonica Highway, funded principally by the World Bank, brought settlers directly into the traditional hunting lands of the Arara and other tribes. In 1981, the Arara had their first peaceful contact with the outside world and were captured on film carrying off gifts from a Funai team. The strange camera, plus gifts of pots, clothing, and knives, helped to defuse a potentially explosive moment. At that time, the Arara numbered 59, and members of the tribe seemed completely at ease with the Funai team. Funai leader Sidney Posuelo's full beard was a special fascination.
In the past, did you fear Sidney Posuelo?
No, I didn't. I was impressed by him at the Funai outpost.
Was he good to you then?
He was great. He gave us big and small knives, shirts and hats.
But first contacts with indigenous peoples often have tragic consequences. Influenza, a disease unknown to the Arara, soon swept through the tribe, killing 7. Emergency medical help saved them from this brush with extinction. In 1991, the Arara moved on to a reservation created for them by the Brazilian government.
They used to live in the past in different villages. Each village had only one household. Now we have here in this village 3 different households living together. They are trying to live following their own rule, their own principle of social organization.
Body painting is one of the Arara traditions that has been retained in this new setting. This ritual symbolizes the tribe's central belief that after death, each Arara will be transformed into a jaguar. Preparation begins with a fruit called kurumbek, which is peeled and crushed or chewed into a pulp. When the dye is painted onto the skin, it is at first clear. After 6 hours, it turns dark blue. The designs are meant to evoke the rippling patterns of the jaguar's coat and will wear off in several days. The tribe believes this transformation into a jaguar after death is a curse. It is the most important element of the tribe's origin story. The warrior Toichi recounts the Arara myth.
In the beginning of time, the world was surrounded by skin and then water. All people lived as stars in the sky. They lived in harmony with their father, the great god Aquandoba, until the fateful day when a quarrel broke out between his 2 sons. One of the sons had grown tired of sharing with his brother and wanted to keep everything for himself. The quarrel quickly deteriorated into a furious fight which was so violent it tore apart their world and the entire universe exploded. The stars found themselves falling helplessly into a land of water and islands made up of the skin of their previous world. Many of them drowned. One day, there came wandering by in this strange land a giant parrot known as an Arara. Taking pity on the stranded stars, he picked each one up and placed it back in the sky. Unfortunately, one group of stars had landed in a remote area. The parrot never saw them, and there they remained, condemned to a life on Earth. The great god of the sky, Aquandova, named those lost stars the Arara after the parrot that abandoned them. He was so angry with his feuding sons that he ordered the Arara to remain on Earth, leading an exemplary life, sharing and caring for one another. After death, the Arara were further condemned to be reincarnated as a jaguar. The Arara now wear jaguar body paint, symbolizing their fate to live out eternity as a solitary animal, wandering the forest alone. The marauding jaguar.
The Arara believe body painting keeps them in harmony with the spiritual world of the jaguar. It is done for a variety of reasons, to honor a hunting expedition or a pregnancy. The same pattern is used for men, women, and children. The extended families live together in palm leaf huts. Since moving to the reservation, the tribe has grown and now numbers more than 100. The Araras believe that they must atone for their ancestors' greed has created a value system in which sharing is paramount. Those same values extend to the natural world. Strict laws and beliefs govern its use. These practices are not accidental, but were established many generations ago. Wapuri, the shaman, or spiritual leader, is the pivotal figure in Arara society. He mediates between the tribe and the spirit world. Now he must deal with a crisis that has overtaken the village. Wapuri says monkeys have been overhunted and the monkey spirits are angry. A baby girl has died. Her body lies in a palm leaf coffin. Her death, the shaman says, was caused by the monkey spirits. She is given a traditional funeral, her nails cut short so that when she becomes a jaguar, they will not be vicious claws. A nearby forest fire is also attributed to angry monkey spirits. When the fire rages out of control, Wapuri suspends all hunting. The source of his authority lies in the Arara belief that the shaman can communicate with the spirits and deter their destructive power. Wapuri will disappear into the forest to ask the monkey spirits to allow hunting to be resumed. Because of the fire and the suspension of hunting, the village is experiencing a real food shortage.
Due to the fire, there is no more to hunt. Even the turtles have been burned.
Were there more animals to hunt in the past?
Yes, we had all kinds of animals in the past. Monkeys, tapirs, deer, and we didn't walk far to find them.
When Wapuri returns with news that the spirits have been appeased, the men hurry to prepare for a hunt. They set off to gather the materials for making bows and arrows. Everything they need for the hunt can be gathered from the surrounding rainforest. Wapuri leads a trip to find bamboo. His blue running shorts and an extremely sharp machete were gifts from Funai. Carefully, Wapuri tests the strength and pliability of the cut bamboo that will form the shafts of the arrows.
The Arara understand the world as a big system of exchange. This makes that they understand a hunting, for example, as an exchange between the human beings and the spirit of the animals in the forest.
The whole village is busy, preparing the hunters for the arduous expedition ahead. Household tasks like weaving are normally the domain of women. But with the hunting party planning to leave for the forest soon, Toichi joins the women, weaving baskets to use as packs on the expedition. The Arara can weave baskets, coffins, beds, and even doors in a matter of minutes, using palm leaves which grow just outside the village. A selection of arrowheads is carefully constructed. Wide bamboo heads are for larger game, such as pigs, deer, and tapir. Single barbed arrows, made from monkey bone, are used for killing monkeys. Multi-barbed are for birds. In preparation for the impending hunt, new arrows, kumuya, are painstakingly crafted by hand. Making the Arara longbows, arapes, is skilled work, made easier by a modern machete. The men can fire their huge 7-foot-long arrows 100 feet or more, high into the forest canopy. The bowstrings are made from pineapple leaves. While men make the arrows and bows, women make the bowstrings. Caught up in the excitement, future hunters test their skill. From a very early age, Arara boys must master the arape and kumuya. These tools will soon become the means of their survival. It is dawn, and the hunters leave the village in an early morning haze, thick with smoke from the nearby forest fire. It is still burning despite the appeased monkey spirits. Fires in the wild have been known to burn for years. The hunters must find a way through the wall of flames. The fire has devastated many of the tribe's vegetable gardens. At last, with the flames almost behind them, the Arara begin to look for a place to camp. There are no paths in the rainforest, since any new track created by a hunt quickly disappears under a riot of new vegetation. The hunters eagerly drain the clear liquid from cut vines for relief from the tropical heat. Nuts provide the only other sustenance during the grueling hike. There is a sense of timelessness in the all-engulfing forest. But the Arara can quickly determine the time of day with a glance at the position of the sun through a gap in the thick canopy of leaves. By mid-afternoon, the hunters have been walking steadily for 9 hours and are ready to rest. Strips of bark make a strong rope to secure hammocks to the trees. The Arara use cloth hammocks, provided them by Funai. Their ancestors may have slept in much the same way. Woven hammocks originated in South America and were used here long before the Europeans arrived. The hunters plan to be in the forest until they have killed as much game as they can carry back. The hunt will last about 2 weeks. The Arara hunters carry their traditional bows and arrows as they move swiftly through the heavy growth. The shotgun was given to them by Funai. Although machetes are used to hack through vines and undergrowth, within days there will be little evidence of the hunters passing. Like the game they hunt, the Arara can blend easily under the shadows and sounds of the rainforest. They maintain long periods of silence as trained ears listen for the locations of nearby animals. To outsiders, the Arara seem to have a natural sense of direction, even in this confusion of vines and trees. Treading softly on the forest floor, Mom Gum's eyes are focused on the canopy of branches high above. He imitates the mating calls of the animals and birds he wants to attract. The Arara hunt many types of game, but not the jaguars they believe they will become after death. Taware lures his prey closer and closer. It comes within range. Once the animals are brought back to the camp, they are plucked, skinned, and gutted. Colorful feathers will be saved for later use. Mortiri has shot an owl and rescued its young offspring to keep as a pet. In that way, the traditional spirit exchange with the forest will be maintained. The hunters eat as little of their kill as possible. The food must be saved for the village. To avoid overhunting, they never kill more than the village can eat. In order to lighten the load, the monkeys are first dried on the fire. The heaviest part of the monkeys, their heads, are discarded after the brains are eaten. Next, palm leaves are woven together to create sturdy backpacks capable of holding many pounds. The food will then be carried miles, back through the forest to the waiting village. It is a long and grueling trip. During the hunter's absence, the village has lived on cassava, a starchy food grown in the Arara's forest gardens. Cassava has many uses and is the main ingredient of the traditional alcoholic beverage, pictu. The drink will be prepared in exchange for the food brought back by the hunters. The cycle of cassava farming begins with chopping down the woody plants. The stalks are then cut into short segments. A patch of forest is carefully burnt in order to fertilize and enrich the soil. The cassava pieces are then buried. In just a few months, new cassava plants will spring up, the growing cycle complete. The root of the cassava is the edible part of the plant. Normally a mainstay of the Arara diet, cassava is in short supply this season. Many gardens have been consumed by the forest fire. Because the cassava root is poisonous, it must be carefully prepared before it is eaten. It is soaked in the river for up to 3 days to leach out the poisonous compounds. The root is then peeled and squeezed. The vegetable is worked by hand, separating the fiber from the starch and the juice. The fiber is strained and then dried, and is either baked into a bread or roasted before it is eaten. The hunters have been away almost 2 weeks now, and with cassava in short supply, the hungry villagers are impatient for their return. Women are preparing Peak 2 beer. Cassava is boiled to extract the remaining poison it contains and is then mixed with toasted cassava, to which corn and potato are sometimes added. The Peak 2 is then masticated for 10 minutes to help the fermentation and to add the life force, which the Arara call ekuru. It will ferment 3 days more before the beer is ready to drink. Finally, playing Akwandoba's flute to announce their safe arrival home, the exhausted hunters return, laden with meat for the village. As shaman, or okpo, Wapuri is considered to have special healing abilities. Through purifying massages, he exorcises the evil spirits that the hunters' bodies have absorbed in the forest. Wapuri squeezes and pulls the skin and organs. He completes the massage by blowing away the remaining demons. The tribe can now prepare for the celebration that follows a successful hunt. Intricate headdresses are made from the colorful feathers of parrots and other birds. Palm wreaths are also made for the occasion. They are worn by the men and boys to exclaim their pride as the hunters who provide meat for the village. In the hands of a craftsman, ordinary bamboo becomes a woodwind instrument. As always, the food is shared by all. After weeks in the tropical heat, the meat has become a putrefying mass. To the camera crew, the smell is sickening. But to the Arara, this is the long-awaited bounty from the forest. All the meat will be eaten in short order. Eating without sharing would be unthinkable here. In this society, a selfish or egotistical person could not survive. He would soon be ostracized from the village. After the feast and the celebration that follows, many of the hunters will sleep with 3 or 4 different women before morning. Both men and women have numerous sexual partners. With the paternity of the children uncertain, and in a small tribe made up of just a handful of extended families, there is a strong sense of collective responsibility for the children. During the drinking ritual, bowls of the alcoholic beverage Peak 2 are passed from villager to villager. It is, they believe, Paru Aquandoba, or God's water, and is consumed by the bowlful. The weeks of waiting for meat have been replaced by a strong sense of well-being. The forest spirits are appeased. Hunting has been good. And it is time for the Arara to relax and forget the anxiety of the weeks gone by. Toichi has been drinking steadily since his return to the village early this morning. He is now quite drunk. Throughout the night, he will entertain the village with tales from the hunt. From the youngest to the oldest, the passing of the Pictou cup is recognized as an important social ritual, an expression of the communal harmony of the village.
The beer connects every society in a kind of link of solidarity, of harmony, of generosity, of everything. The beer is only one part of a big exchanging system in this culture.
Ceremonial music follows, led by the hypnotic rhythm of the flute. Everyone joins in the music making. Stringed instruments provide some variety. Toichi sings the traditional Pictou drinking song. The celebration will continue throughout the night. Although 16th century European artists were unable to create completely accurate images of the Amazon tribes, written accounts of explorers from that period indicate that music making, drinking, and mastication were being practiced then much as they are today. Despite holding to many of their most important traditions, the Arara's way of life is increasingly challenged.
The Brazilian government is still putting money on the agricultural projects beginning in the Trans-Amazonica Highway. So if we look to the Arara land, the land have two natural borders now. One is the Trans-Amazonica Highway. The another one is the Iriri River basin, the Iriri River. So beginning in the Trans-Amazonica Highway, we have a lot of agricultural projects, big projects. And these projects are based in the destruction of the forest, in the deforestation. On the other side, we have the Iriri River and the Xingu River also. And the Brazilian government is still thinking to put a lot of dams in these rivers. So this will produce some flooding into their land. So in one side we have the agricultural deforestation, and on the other side we have the flooding of the water. So they will be enclosed in a very small part of their own land.
If our land is swallowed up, where will we go to hunt? We don't raise cattle, We only hunt. That's what we do. We need the forest and the land itself. We like the forest. Why do we like it? Because we were born there. Our land is now an island. We are completely surrounded.
When they have been put here together in a fixed position, they cannot move as they moved in the past. In the past, each 2 years, they had to move the village because the nearest garden exhausted. Now they have to stay here. Now, of course, they are going to very, very far places to put new gardens. And they are fixed in the same soil, in the same place in the land.
The home of the Arara, like much of the Amazon rainforest, is under siege. The U.S. and Britain alone consume 85,000 tons of Brazilian mahogany each year, most of which is believed to be harvested illegally on Indian reserves. This 1973 infrared satellite picture shows the virgin Amazon rainforest. By 1991, an image from the same area shows the results of 20 years' heavy deforestation. This inspired Sidney Posuelo to advocate a new policy.
After the Arara contact, we introduced a new policy and department to protect uncontacted Indians. It is to leave them in peace while protecting them from outside aggression. They have never needed the white man's help to leave. So why contact these Indians? As we cannot solve the problems with the Indians already contacted.
But Sidney Posuelo was fired as president of FUNAI before he had a chance to implement his policy of leaving isolated tribes alone. And there are fresh charges that FUNAI, starved for funds, has been corrupted by the vast resources of the companies that want to develop the Amazon. This small community of 100 Arara has already been forced to adapt its centuries-old culture to increasing contact with the outside world. It remains to be seen whether their fragile identity as the Jaguar people can survive.
Teachers, educational institutions, and organizations can purchase this program and many other NOVA programs for $19.95 plus shipping and handling. To order a video cassette, call 1-800-255-9424. A production of WGBH Boston. Funding for NOVA is provided by Lockheed, America's aerospace company, supporting math, science, and engineering education for national technology leadership.
And by Merck, dedicated to pharmaceutical research, committed to discovery, improving health, extending life. Merck.
Major funding for NOVA is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by annual financial support from viewers like you.
This is PBS.
Next time on NOVA.
911. What is going on? Earthquake. I can't see anything. Listen to me. Calm down. Is there somebody in there?
A kitty, just a kitty.
Recent quakes in Southern California are revealing unexpected new dangers.
The ground is moving in so many places all at once. This can't be real.
Is downtown LA at ground zero for the next killer quake? That's next time on Nova.
For a transcript of the NOVA program you've just seen, send $5 to this address or call 1-303-831-9000.